Hello, I'm Greg Mandry. I'm the director of the feature film I-spi.
And I'm Russ Whitfield, the screenwriter of the feature film I-spi.
It's a project that we are really excited about.
What it's about is basically two never-worked actors hit on this idea of wanting to do a ghost hunting style show, the ones that you see on the TV. One of them is a skeptic, the other one could be convinced. So they gather a motley crew of people together that they can get on the cheap, and they finally land their first job at a manor house. And of course now when they get there, they think, oh, it's going well, but as night draws in, things start to go horribly wrong for everyone.
I-spi is fundamentally a horror film. It's a horror film with a lot of comic elements to it. We've got a comedy duo lined up, a UK-based comedy duo lined up to play the two central characters. They're Electric Forecast. It is Steve Marsh and Dan Wright. They are veterans of the Edinburgh Festival. They have been in TV shows on the BBC. They've been involved with feature film. They've been involved with drama. They've been involved with kids TV. You know, they're a great couple of guys. If you Google search them, you know, you're bound to find some of their stuff if you're not familiar with them, and I'm sure you're going to love them, you know, as much as we do. Back in 2008, we made a movie called GNAW, which was a low-budget horror film. Sold territories around the world: US, Germany, France, Far East. Quite a success, really, for the low-budget movie that we were making. Part of this film has come about because of some fan mail wanting to see another project and wanting to move towards another project. We had this project lined up, and so that has been part of the genesis for this project. The environment of crowdfunding has moved on since the original movie that we made. And it's something that we're hoping to embrace some of those film fans out there, because we're big film fans. Embrace some of that and get your involvement in making of the film, and hopefully we can, you know, push this forward and make it even more bigger success than GNAW was before.
I want to talk a little bit about the crowdfunding process, what we're going to do as part of this exercise.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're really keen to show you, you know, almost a warts and all what we're doing at the moment and what we've got lined up. We got some fun things lined up, and we've got some, you know, hopefully some experiences lined up. We're actually going to do a ghost investigation, which was currently being set up.
With real paranormal investigators.
With real paranormal investigators, where hopefully we'll meet some real ghosts, and they can get involved as well.
What we want to do is show you our auditioning process, show you the people that make it into the movie, some of the people that don't make it into the movie, how things work behind the scenes.
We're going to look, you know, for some contribution from you. We're looking for hopefully that you can you know, get online and send us videos of what you've thought of some of the stuff that we're doing. Some of the stuff you can comment on. You can talk about the ghost hunt that we're going on with, that we're going to be showing footage from. And I'm really hoping there's going to be some good opportunity for you guys to get involved in our project, because, you know, that is really, you know, what we're really looking for in this project as well, is to really engage and really make it part of your project as well as our project.
We're fans. We can make a fan film for the fans on a fairly decent budget. So come into the house with us, work with us on the project, you know, invest if you can. That'll be absolutely fantastic. And yeah, come make a movie with us. I'm Russ Whitfield, the screenwriter of the feature film I-spi. I-spi was, I think, the first actual script that I wrote. I'm a novelist mainly. I wrote a book called Gladiatrix and a sequel, Roma Victrix, and I got involved in writing scripts because I met the director Greg Mandry at a party, and we had a few beers and we got a bit drunk and we started talking about the various things that we were working on, and it transpired at the time that Greg wanted to do a Roman-based TV series. I said, well, that's funny because I write Roman-based novels, and this is kind of how we started working together. And out of these conversations, he said, "Oh, I'm working on this script as well, which was I-spi. Can you take a look at it?" And that's what I did, and here we are. I got to the part that says the end, and hopefully we're going to make a movie. Do I believe in the paranormal? I certainly think that there are unexplained phenomena. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, I can say I do believe in the paranormal to a greater or lesser extent. When I was younger, certainly weird stuff used to happen. Whether that was a result of all the beer that we were drinking or not, I couldn't honestly say. I believe that other people believe they've had experiences. I do believe also that there could be something to that, yes. So I'd like to maintain an open mind. What's the best writing advice I ever received? I actually read it on the internet, and it was really impressed by this. And it just said, "Don't get it right, get it written," which basically I think means don't procrastinate about the work that you're doing. Don't sit there and try to, if you're writing a novel, don't sit there and try and perfect the first 3 chapters, because you'll be forever stuck on the first 3 chapters. Just hammer it out, get it finished, and then you can go back and edit it later. So yeah, don't get it right, get it written. When I first started writing, 2 big influences on me was a fantasy author called David GNAW, and a historical fiction author called Donna Gillespie, who wrote a great book called The Light Bearer. Also, I've always been interested in ancient history, so I started to write about Romans. Since then, I read a lot of stuff by Tony Riches, Ben Kane, Simon Scarra, mainly Roman-based fiction, because that's the kind of stuff that I write. My favourite film of all time is Superman the movie, but I have a lot of love for things like Aliens and especially the Resident Evil movies and Underworld movies, but Resident Evil especially, I love all that stuff. Now I know that these are widely derided by the internet hive mind. Everyone says, oh no, it's awful because it's Paul W.S. Anderson, but I do love my schlocky horror film. So I think, Resident Evil right up there, bang up there with my top 10 favourite movies. All of them, in fact, and I can't wait for the new one that's coming out in 3D, where they have managed to bring back all of the dead characters from the first one, so I'm mega excited about that, because you can't have enough blood.
What is it?
Murder and intrigue. I'd have to say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, you're a big fan of intrigue and I love murders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've always wanted to be in a horror movie. It hasn't everyone, to be honest. It's that combination of gore and humour that attracted me.
In terms of comedy horror, we've seen a lot of, the Shaun of the Dead's, Troll.
Just the two big ones.
Twilight, the real comedy horrors.
We do like the fact that it's very tongue-in-cheek as well.
Yeah.
So combining those elements would be just so much fun to do. I play David. David is a very stressed out guy who wants to be an actor, and so he comes up with this idea, which is to create a kind of most haunted sort of program on TV, and he wants to fund it himself, but he's finding it trouble to get the funds together.
Do you think you're like David at all? I mean,
I'm
you just
quite,
mentioned a really stressed out guy.
I am quite an anxious fella, aren't I?
I mean, there's a reason why you're so skinny, Dan. And it ain't
I eat
from
a
healthy
lot.
eating.
But no, I eat a lot. But I just go to the toilet a lot because I'm constantly worried about life.
Stuart is my character. He's a bit of a layabout. He's pretty good when he puts his mind to it, Dan. You've got to give him that.
No, he's quite lazy.
He is lazy, like I am. I can sometimes, if I wanted to, I could sleep for 2 days straight. I have slept for 2 days straight, only getting up for toilet breaks.
Steve sleeps like this. But we always thought if ever was a burglar, then they'd see us together and think that guy's living with a dead man. No, we saw the 2 characters and we thought that is exactly how we used to live together when we lived in a flat.
I used to live in shit, and Dan used to be really anal about tidying up.
Yeah. So David very much stressed out like I am, and Stuart the one who doesn't do anything, very lazy.
Yeah, but
a little bit like
I'm a little bit. I mean, I'm a bit.
Steve works a bit harder now.
More, but a little bit harder.
A bit more focused on you're in your 30s. 11 years we've worked together, haven't we?
Yeah, man and boy.
We met at university. We always wanted to do stand-up comedy, and I was doing a little bit on my own. And I said to Steve one night in varsity, I said, "Why don't we do it together?" And he went, "All right." And we tried it the next week. And we've been doing that ever since. Electric.
Forecast. A few weeks after we started doing stand-up, we were first called Dan and Steve for about 2 gigs.
Dan and Steve Driven or something.
Dan and Steve here on stage, we called ourselves, yeah.
And we thought that doesn't sound right, so let's find a name. And you said, something ridiculous?
I said, something ridiculous, like Electric Forecast.
I went, yeah.
And we ended up making stuff up, like, well, the forecast is kind of
the overview,
our attitude towards stuff, and the electricity is the energy we bring.
Yeah, but really, we were drunk in varsity.
Exactly,
and
made it
Electric
up.
Forecast, and went, let's go to a club and see if we can get any girls. We've done quite a bit of stuff. We've worked with Stephen Fry. We acted in Kingdom, the drama series.
We played 2 brothers who owned rival burger vans, Burger Me and Burger Off.
Yeah.
Always bringing that comedy to these sort of
We
things.
presented Big Brothers Big Mouth together.
We had our own show called Crash Your Dummies. We've both been in Hollyoaks, but at separate times and in completely different guises. Who did you play, Dan?
I was in Hollyoaks Nights, by the way. That's where you can use
Late
the word
version.
shit and refer to someone as a slag. It's a little bit more racy.
They were the only two lines you had. You said, "This is shit, you're a slag." That's all.
And they went, you can't just add those lines in, that's not the script. You ever played a nice guy?
Yes, I've just finished a drama for the BBC by Jim McGovern called Moving On, in which I play a nice guy who does get killed halfway through because he's too nice.
Yeah.
His nicety gets him killed.
I've just finished a sketch show called Fit for CBBC, which is a sketch show based all on diet and nutrition and health and fitness and what have you. Played about 200 characters, which was good fun.
We filmed 100 episodes of a kids' TV show called Big Cook Little Cook,
Yeah.
which I suppose that has been the most famous thing we've done.
In the show, Steve plays Big Cook. He's a normal person. I'm Little Cook. It's quite a complex character. Steve auditioned originally for Little Cook, and they went, "I just don't think you're up
I
to
don't
it,
think you're
mate.
right for it.
You know, you've got more of a murderer kind of look." I suppose Big Cook, Little Cook was the big break. However, if that was the big break, we haven't done anything since which has been bigger. So I don't know whether you could call it the break. And that's why this film will do exactly that.
It's a real whodunit.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, we don't want to say too much at this stage, do we?
No.
Who done what?
Who done what?
Exactly.
I mean-
Watch it, find out.
Might be a ghost, might not even be real.
It's not a ghost.
It's real.
Hello, I'm Kriss Ellis-Stansfield. I'm a filmmaker and a paranormal investigator. I've been working in the paranormal for a number of years, doing promotional videos, working with groups. I've done TV pilots, I've done a series which is on the internet, all kinds of things, as well as actually working as a paranormal investigator. As a filmmaker, I wanted to try and move away from the paranormal because I've been doing it for so long and work in movies, which is something that I've always wanted to do. And I'd been doing a lot of searching on the internet for British film directors and so on. And it led me to Greg, who directed the film GNAW, which I actually have in my collection. And found his name, found his website, and then contacted him. Basically, I was just looking for a bit of advice, really, how to move from what I was already doing into feature films. I love horror films, and I loved the film GNAW. So when Greg replied, I was quite chuffed. Even more chuffed when he said that they were about to make another film. And I suggested using some of the funding websites, crowdfunding with Kickstarter and Indiegogo. Lots of people are doing it nowadays. It seems to be the way forward. So I spoke to Greg about it and he got quite excited. He sent me the script, I had a read through. It's kind of a horror comedy type of film, very good script. It's to do with paranormal investigating. So there's me trying to get away from paranormal investigating and straight into a movie to do with that subject. But I don't know, I think, you know, as a film it's going to be a lot of fun. And because I've had that experience, I've been able to kind of help with the project in that way. I spoke to a paranormal group, North London Paranormal Investigations, and got an investigation going for some of the cast and some of the crew. Unfortunately, due to other projects and work and so on, I'm a little bit tied up, so I'm not going to be able to make the actual investigation. Bit gutted about that. But what can they expect from this investigation? Paranormal shows on TV will give these guys, I think, quite high expectations. At the same time, they won't know what to expect, if that makes sense. Once the lights go out, they're going to be tuning into senses that they've never really used in this kind of way before. You're not going to be able to see as much, so obviously you're going to be listening out for things, possibly feeling things. Things that when the lights are on and you're just wandering around, you take for granted, but once the lights are off and you're actually looking for a ghost, you know, any kind of breeze across your arm and so on, it's going to be a little bit weird, whereas any other time you probably wouldn't even think about it. Every knock, bang, everything is going to be something. It's going to be quite exciting for them, I think. Chances are it's just the building cooling down and things like that. Not to say that they're not going to see anything at all, you know, that there is a chance, I guess. Slim, because lots of people have been doing it for a long time, including myself, and I haven't seen anything yet. Down in the bar area all by myself. As you can see, there is nobody around. But they will certainly have a good night, and I think that it's going to be a great experience for them. Is there anyone in this room with me right now?
Tips for paranormal investigation. Wow, I mean, number one, have an open mind. The best way of ever seeing a ghost or hearing a ghost is when you've got an open mind. When your mind is switched off, when you're thinking of probably nothing at all. I think the worst thing, personally, is to be sitting there, eyes wide open, camera ready, tape recorder on, EMF meter there, thermometer there, willing a ghost to a pity. Doesn't happen, in my opinion. It's when you're least expecting it, when your mind's switched off, you're probably talking to somebody else, chatting about something, and all of a sudden something happens. Some form of sound to let me know that you're here with me now. Shit. Was that you? So, have an open mind. Paranormal tip number 2, tick the normal boxes first. Just because something happens, because something bangs, slams, it's not necessarily a ghost. 8 out of 10 things that happen can be explained. Would you make contact with me in some way? I'm sure that's a toilet being flushed downstairs. So tick the normal boxes, and when you've got a box without a tick, then, yeah, okay, start investigating. I'm sorry. What's that? Water. Water. It's a pipe. The profession of a ghost, if it had one, wouldn't be to scare you. Ghosts are not there to get you. At 3 o'clock in the morning, at the foot of the bed, rattling their chains, going, "Ooh." That's not what it's about.
Sorry that I can't be there, guys. I hope you have fun. I hope you have a very spooky time, and I can't wait to hear about it. And if any of you decide that you're going to be all brave about it, I bet that scared you.
Really excited. I hope we get scared.
We're really nervous, to be honest. We didn't think we'd be this nervous.
Are the ghosts actually in this building?
Ghosts. Ghosts. Oh my god.
Something just... We were just when you were talking, all the bubble wrap just came up behind me and went down onto the floor. But it wasn't anything, I didn't touch it, did I? I was just sitting on the chair.
You haven't moved.
I didn't move, I was sitting like this, and then it all just went behind me and went down onto the floor.
Are you safe there, Maria?
I don't want to go to the back for some reason.
I've just got a feeling that something's going on over there right now. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
There's a spirit person that can hear my voice and you're in this space. Please, can you come forward and make yourself known to Tony? Is anyone else hearing voices?
I can hear a man's voice.
anyone want to call out?
Me!